Okay, before we get this video started, I just wanted to mention, in the description down below, there is a link for the GoFundMe page for Jen Blake. Recently, it's come to light that Jen has been suffering from brain cancer. Currently, the GoFundMe page is to cover all her medical bills. So any amount you can donate would be much appreciated. If you don't know who Jen Blake is, she's actually an artist on the My Little Pony comics. She's very talented, and I love her art style. And hey, if you can't donate, that's fine, no worries. Just spread the word about it. Anyway, Jen, if you ever happen to find this on the vastness of the internet, I hope you kick cancer's ass, because it'd be a shame to lose a talented girl such as yourself. Anyway, on with the episode. Hey buddy, what's up? Ultramag64 here, and today guys, it is time for yet another fantastic episode of the My Little Pony game from Gameloft. Now, last time we left off, we talked a lot about the Guardians of Harmony, and we got sidetracked and talked about the Equestria Girls and all that jazz. Well, funny coincidence you might bring up the Equestria Girls, Magnus, you impeccable bronze-chiseled man-god, you, because I had just so happened to watch the My Little Pony Legend of Everfree movie. In fact, last night. And granted, I've only watched it once, but I have some thoughts on it. But first, before we get to that, I just want to say, this guy, and potentially this guy, because they're both waifu-stealing pieces of garbage, and they need to burn in a flaming dumpster fire of doom, because anybody tries to steal my sparkly sparkle sunsetty waifu, I will burn them at the stake. Cool, glad we got that out of the way. Just need to get that out of my system. Just needed to get that out of my system. Cool, anyway. So, this brings up an interesting little topic to debate about. What are the stakes of the Legend of Everfree? Essentially, I was kind of right and wrong in a lot of ways about this movie. For starters, I did speculate from the soundtrack that it was going to be about legacy and kind of history, stuff like that. And it kind of was, in a way. The camp itself signifies a lot about the past and past school members and et cetera, et cetera. It's a big tradition for Canterlot High, and it also has its own legacy and whatnot to uphold. And then things get really, really weird. So anyway, let's get started. Essentially, what happened was it kind of had a fake out in a lot of ways. Now, before we jump into this, I'm trying to dance around things that I want to talk about. If you haven't watched the movie yet, it's on Netflix. You should probably go watch it now. It's also out on Blu-ray as well if you're running Blu-ray. I picked up the Blu-ray copy, and I also have it on Netflix, so I can watch it either way I want. But long story short, you just probably need to watch this darn thing. Anyway. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the movie itself, and let's talk about it. So, what exactly are the stakes in this movie? Well, Filthy Rich decides that, hey, I own this camp because you guys didn't pay your rent, so I can do with what I want with it, which I guess he's not wrong, I guess. I mean, you could probably work out a deal, but I mean, granted, a summer camp probably doesn't do well, outside of summer. I mean, come on, that's probably, maybe fall, depending on the season climate thing. But most likely, that camp's not doing so good during normal hours. I don't know, because I don't run a camp, and I don't know, exactly what camps do outside of summer. But needless to say, that probably isn't making a lot of money. And I can understand why they kind of got up behind on their rent then, at that point. But anyway, needless to say, Filthy Rich is like, hey, you guys need to pay. I'm out of here. Bye. And he buggers off. And then strange things start happening in the camp. And a character whose name I've forgotten, Timber? Is it Timber? I think it was Timber. Tim Burton. Whatever. We'll call him Tim Burton. Timmy Burton. Sure. He decides, hey, I'm going to tell a story about Gaia Everfree, a legendary mystical forest creature that may or may not have came from Equestria. And, yeah, that was an interesting fake-out, the way they've kind of set up this movie. Granted, you could kind of see the plot a mile away. The plot was big with this one. The plot was this big, round plot you could just see, like it was eclipsing the sun, on the sunset horizon. You could just see it. You could just be like, that's the plot right there. But they did try and change a few things. They did try and make a few things like, hey, we know you think it's this, but it's actually this. And it got me a few times. It did get me a few times. I'll explain that in a sec. But the big thing that is underlining this movie is Midnight Sparkle, and Twilight's kind of like, look, this darkness is still inside of me, and I'm afraid to use any kind of magic whatsoever, because last time I used magic, it didn't end well, and I don't want to do that anymore, type deal. And it's an interesting little dilemma she's kind of got, considering our Twilight kind of is, we've only seen Twilight be in a role of kind of leadership and whatnot, and we don't normally see her, like, unsure about a lot of things. And this Twilight's a totally different Twilight. She's gone through different things, and she's done different stuff. And that leads to her being like, look, I'm apprehensive about using my powers because this bad thing happened. I don't want this bad thing to happen again. And it's because I have night terrors and whatnot, and losing sleep and all that jazz. And she doesn't want to talk about it, for fear of bringing it up makes her, shunned and stuff, which, good gravy, at least, they didn't hark on her like they did Sunset Shimmer and Rainbow Rocks, after it was like a week of, let's see, when did those timelines take place after? A week, I think, between the two? I'm pretty sure it was a week between the original Quest for Girls and the Rainbow Rocks, but I'm not entirely sure on that one, because I don't remember what they said specifically. But anyway, so at least they improved from that, because good gravy, if they kept mentioning it, I was just gonna I was just like, you guys didn't learn jack squat, you're done. You're done. But another interesting thing, another running theme, I guess, would be the romance between Twiggles and Wood guy, Timmy Burton. Is that whatever his name is? Stupid Wood guy, Birch. Is his name Birch? I don't remember. I think it was Timber. I think it was Timber. Anyway, I threw things because it makes me so angry. I threw things. So yeah, we got a nice little romance between them, and I'm okay with it. I mean, they're two totally different people at this point. Like, our Twilight Pooh's not even in this at all. And the interesting thing, though, is the fact that they think they can make this relationship work. I mean, good kudos for you guys for finding that true love and being like, hey, I potentially want to spend the rest of my life with you. Oh my. Well, let's get this soap opera drama started here. I mean, kudos, but you guys know this isn't gonna work out, right? Like it's not. I'm sorry. You can buy her dinner all you want and potentially fake out makeout, but you ain't gonna get none of it. Cause here's a little slap to reality here. You're in a camp outside of town, potentially far, far away from town. Not sure how far, but far enough that they need to have a bus take them all the way out there. So, I'ma guess that you ain't gonna, potentially hold this long-distance relationship. I could be wrong, but yeah, I got a feeling it's not happening. It's just not happening, bud. It's just not. It's not happening. It's just not. And also, screw you, Megan McCarthy, for adding the stupid, almost kissing scene, but not quite. Just really, you had to add that in. Every single time we get any hint of romantic anything in this darn series, it gets ripped away from us, from our very eyes, and it's just getting old. It's getting old. If they're gonna bone together, they need to at least say, hey, look, we're gonna do this thing. Just stop. Stop with fake outs. Just either do it or don't. Sick of this. And also Flash tries to rebound on Sunset Shimmer, who maybe is a thing. I don't know. That's why I potentially chastise him, because I don't know if he's actually, like, he's trying, but I don't know if Sunny Days is like, hey, yeah, we should totally give this thing another go. Now that I'm not evil and totally using you for my own personal gain. Nah, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't worry. All that potential heartache and horrible stuff that I did to you in the past, let's just sweep that under the rug. Yeah, sure, Flash. Just go for the rebound, girl. Sure. Anyway. So that happened. I'm actually going to take a break from talking about the show really quick to go and do a quest really quick to at least say that, hey, this quest is here, because I noticed the quest was in our scroll and I forgot about it. So anyway, let's go ahead and look at what Flutter's got for us. Oh, I'm so sorry to bother you, but I was just wondering how the hospital was doing. I'm just ever so worried about all my animal friends. Collect first aid kits. Is anybody even working at the hospital? Nobody's working at the hospital. Okay, somebody needs to work at the hospital. Wildfire, what are you doing? You're not doing anything. Do that. Yeah, do that. You got that. Wait, did I need asparagus? No, I didn't need asparagus. Okay. Cool. So, asparagus stand can go AFK for a while. Anyway, back on topic to the Equestria Girls movie. So they figure out that, hey, Gaia Everfree's doing stuff, but Twilight thinks that, hey, I'm doing this because I'm evil and Midnight Sparkle's still in me and it's leaking out through whatever orifices I have and it's causing all this chaos and calamity. It's like, no, I don't think so. But Twilight's so freaked out that she believes that full-heartedly, and she's like, hey, look, I don't want to cause any trouble. I don't want to infect my friends with all this excess magic I'm just spurting out of my sweat glands or whatever the heck this magic explodes from. Anyway, so strange things are afoot, and or a hand, or whatever you pedestrians use for appendages. I don't know. I'm a simple horse with simple needs. So anyway, that's a thing that happens. And then, long story short, things start going awry, and other stuff just keeps happening, and blah, 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 romantic tension happens, and then we find out that, hey, maybe it's Timber, maybe Timber's doing this, because he's got glitter pants, and he goes into a mysterious cave, yeah, that thing. Yeah, it's totally Timber, yeah, let's go rattle on him and make Twilight's waifu dreams just smash right in front of her face, and watch her just crumble and die inside because her manfu is not who he thinks he is. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway. Gosh darn it, I'm awful. Anyway, so then they find out that, oh, the sister whose name I've actually forgotten, I got this girl! Basically, they try and make that a catchphrase for her, and it doesn't work. I'm sorry. Like during her normal camp counselory, that's a word, right? Duties, yeah, that totally works. That's fine. That's great. Okay, I got this. It's like, okay, fine. You can, I guess, do that, even though you have a brother who, is more than willing and able to help you in everything you do. But no, you got this. You got this. But when she turns evil, it just becomes comedic at that point, because it's just like, okay, once was okay, but then she just kept doing it. It just got funnier and funnier every time she did it. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself, though. So the Twiggles and Sunkiss decide, hey, we're gonna go inside this mysterious cave thing that Timber's going in, and then they find out, oh, the camp counselor lady's all behind it all along. Oh my, whatever will we do? And we get a glimpse at what I thought. Before it was revealed, I thought, oh great, we've got a Tree of Harmony here. Fantastic. I mean, it makes sense considering the camp's name. But seriously, guys, we're going into the Tree of Harmony garbage again. Great, fantastic. Let's just gather up all them seeds and keys and boxes and stuff and just watch. And what happens. But no, we actually get like geodes or Harmony geodes. I don't know what these things are. But basically, they're little crystals that represent the elements of harmony again. So, okay, I guess that's interesting. The only problem is you never explain, how exactly those came to be here, or how they were, what equivalent they were in Equestria. We're never given anything to that. It's just like, hey, these things, they're here. There you go. That's all you need to know. And why are there 7 of them? I don't know. It's just a thing. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's okay. It's magic. You don't need a magic explanation for magic. So yeah, that's a thing that happens. And then she wigs out and becomes technically Gaia Everfree, except a lot prettier version of Gaia Everfree. Because the original Gaia Everfree looked like garbage. I'm sorry. It just looked like a big thing of big bushes and just gross. But the whatever lady, the camp counselor lady, I've given up trying to figure out her name. I give up. She's camp counselor lady now and forever. So declareth I, Magnus, the great and powerful king overlord of Horse. So anyway, she goes and wigs out on the camp and decides the best course of action, instead of going after Filthy Rich, which probably would have been a much better idea with all this power you've got coursing through your body, you decide, hey, nah, I'm gonna just enclose the camp in a giant thistle bush. Why? Like seriously, why? You've just kind of doomed these kids to live here and kind of die here, because you don't have enough food. Like, nobody thought about this. Nobody, I don't think anyone in Pedestria thinks their plans through. Seriously, we had, darn Sunset Shimmer with her teen army try and take over Equestria. That would have worked out so well. Oh, I'm so sure that, people who are then magically transformed into new horses are going to totally know how to control their bodies and or new appendages they grow in between dimensions. Yeah, sure. I don't see how this could possibly go wrong with, 3 other princesses at the other end of that portal, but I don't know, whatever. Manticores probably would eat them. And then we've got Gaia Everfree over here, just like, hey, I'm going to enclose this camp, it's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. I mean, okay, you may have solved your problem with Filthy Rich not being able to get to the camp, but nobody else can either. So what's the point of the camp? I'm just saying, it kind of doesn't make sense to me, and that doesn't quite make sense. But, you do you, lady. I'm not gonna judge. You just go about your merry day, and we'll see how this ends out. And then we get a nice little confrontation about, hey, Twilight, it's okay. You've got to accept your stupid power and do it. And we'll be here for you no matter what, regardless of if you're gonna be, Midnight Spackle or whatever. We're gonna be here. And I don't know what it is about this. I don't know if it's not that. I mean, technically we haven't tread this ground before, but we kind of have with Sunset, in a way. And it's nice to see Sunset take on that more leader role, which I do like. I do like that Sunset's kind of the leader of the group, even with Twilight being here, And that's a really neat dynamic to see, because Twilight is, again, normally our, leader and stuff like that. So it's nice to see her not take a leadership role. But it just seems like, okay, we've kind of already we've kind of already seen this play out, I don't know. I just kind of, I like the struggle she was having with her inner demons, and regardless of if Midnight was still there or not, I mean, we never really get kind of confirmation that she was, or if she was all just in her head. Because we don't get that similar kind of inner conflict with Sunset. So I don't know. Maybe she was just kind of wigged out about the whole thing and kind of made Midnight more than what she really was. Don't know. But then we get a very, very anticlimactic boss fight, and that it was over so fast. I think I blinked and missed it. It was Tyrek levels of just, let's wrap this up. We've got a few minutes. Let's wrap it up. I don't know. The problem is with this villain was that it wasn't her fault. She wasn't a villain. And we've kind of already had that multiple times. I want a villain that is, I've said this before, but I want a villain who's no, you guys have your way of thinking things, but I have mine. And you're not going to invalidate my way of thinking with your, viewpoints and stuff. This is who I am. I've been this way for so long that you can't change my mind with just this big speech or magical powers. Similar to Discord in kind of a way. Where it's hey, yeah, look, you guys have your way of doing things, I have mine. you know? Something similar to that. If you watch Wander Over Yonder, they actually have a really good villain. The last villain, whose name I've forgotten, and I also don't want to spoil, but she's like the perfect villain of what I want to see Friendship is Magic do. But regardless, we don't get that. We just get kind of the same similar arc as Twilight and Sunkissed, where it's like, hey, you know, I just wanted friendship, man. I was doing the right thing and all the wrong way, man. So yeah, that was a thing that happened, and yeah, all is forgiven. Yay! No one gets in trouble. Yay! The good guys win. Yay! Now an interesting thing that actually happened that we haven't gotten like at all in any of the movies was we actually got a bit of a cliffhanger. And I was surprised by this. I was like, oh, so you guys actually plan on continuing. Okay. I mean, that's fine. I love the Equestria Girls movies, and I'll again get to that in a minute. But we actually got a like, hey, we've got more planned type deal. Now, granted, this could lead up to the 2017 movie. Maybe we're going to have another dimension cross. I don't think so, considering this is going to be a bigger thing than, say, Equestria Girls. So I don't think we're going to get that in the 2017 movie. Maybe a mention of it, but probably not. I really think that Equestria Girls is kind of spun off into its own thing, and that's fine. I think that's actually what is probably better for it. But yeah, that was an interesting move on McCarthy's part. But anyway, let's get into like my overall opinion of the movie and how I feel about Equestria Girls in general. So I like Equestria Girls. I have a soft spot for it. I think I like the world it's got because it's different. It's our world, but it's not at the same time. It's got a kind of mysterious air about it because we know so little about it. Over the years of My Little Pony, we've gotten to know this world that they've created and its kind of rules and stuff like that. Granted, they can change those rules and add new things to manipulate them, but we generally know what we're getting into when it comes to a new season of My Little Pony. With Equestria Girls, we don't. We have this world that we've not really explored and what could possibly like become of that world. And it's interesting to see. We also get characters like in situations we probably will never see them in the pony world, such as going to camp, experiencing high school. We're not going to get that because technically in Equestria they're grown up, they're adults. They don't have to do any of that. You know, and I doubt we're going to see, you know, Twiggles in Pedestria become a freaking princess. I highly doubt that, even though she grew wings, which was a little bit down for me. I was like, great, fabulous. You couldn't have differentiated her in any way, shape, or form. That's fine. That's fine. It's okay. Whereas Sunset still doesn't have wings, which is odd, because we've seen her now twice with wings, yet she didn't get them in her pony power thing. I don't know why. But I always have a soft spot for the Equestria Girls stuff. I want to see more of it. And I want to see them develop this world and make something really cool out of it. And, of course, I like the songs as well. The songs in this one were fewer than, I think, previous movie. Well, I don't think there were as few as the first movie, but I think they were kind of in between. There's not as much as, say, Rainbow Rocks or Friendship Games, but there were, like, 6, I think. There were 6 songs, whereas normally I think there's, like, 10. So, I mean, that's not so bad. But overall, like, there just wasn't a whole lot at stake in this movie. Like, you can only do the world's at stake, or the balance of 2 worlds is at stake for so long. And this was just a camp. I mean, literally, Gaia Everfree didn't even try and take over the world. She just wanted to protect the camp. And it's like, okay, so, here's the plan. We just, steer clear of that portion of the woods, and yeah, we're good to go. We don't need to worry about anything. Or, you know, we set it on fire. I'm just saying, controlled burns are a thing for a reason. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure Gaia Everfree wouldn't be able to stop fire, especially if you got a big enough fire. Again, I wouldn't know anything about that. I'm not some expert on woodland things, but just say. But it was interesting to see, like, the girls kind of discover their new pony powers. And it's also interesting that now they can kind of pony up, I guess, in any way. Like, they don't have to, it's not tied to music or anything like that, or location-based or anything. Now they've got little Sailor Moon pendants they can use and transform literally into Sailor Warriors. So great, fantastic, that's fine. Although that kind of, I don't know, almost breaks the world a little bit, because, like, now Applejack's super Hercules strong. So, I mean, okay, I guess nobody's gonna bat an eye at that? Nobody? Nobody's gonna be like, how is that girl over there so darn strong? Does she just drink her milk every day? You know, whereas Rainbow Dash is breaks the sound barrier and the color gamut barrier every, like, 5 minutes when she gets on a light jog in the morning. It's like, maybe the government should get in and maybe experiment and try and... See, now that'd be an interesting one. I just thought of that. What if the government or some big higher-up tries to harness the magic of whatever? And, I mean, granted, we kind of got that with friendship games with the principal... What was her name? Principal Bitchy Pants? Yeah, sure. I still hate that woman. I still hate her so much. But that's a story for another day, which I will tell if people want me to tell that. But anyway. But it would be interesting to see, like, a big, like, power be like, hey, we want this power because we want to protect the world, or we want to use it to control the world, whatever you want to, use it for. And the girls have to, like, try and stand up to a adult, instead of, a person who may or may not be, like, college student, where in the case of Gaia, or, like, I mean, granted, they kind of did that with friendship games, I suppose, in a way, with a principal. Like, Twilight was kind of powerless in this, but at the same time, she was almost comedically evil, and I kind of want someone who's not that. I don't know. I'd probably have to flesh that idea out a little bit more. But it is just a thought. It is just it would be an interesting idea to do. Similar to the pony before the cart thing, where it's like the CMC admitted, like, hey, you guys are adults. We're kids. We felt intimidated by trying to talk to you guys about this because you're adults. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that tackled, because they are teenagers, and that's kind of what it is. Now, another thing this brings up is whether or not, like, what time period this takes place in. Because we had Pinkie Pie mention that in the past year, we fought everything happened in a year, basically. So, that begs to question what season they're in. Because I thought it was summer of the next year. And that was fall of the year, even though everything was still green and whatever. At first I thought it was fall because of the birds in the opening scene making the V and flying what appears to be south for the winter. But I don't know, because everything's green. Well, then again, we're in an evergreen forest, so I mean, who knows? It's just pine trees throughout the years. Just, gosh, guys, can you not just give me a solid timeline here? I'm tired of speculating and figuring everything out. But yeah, I think it's probably summer of next year, which then begs the question, what class are they in now? Are they juniors in high school? Or are they seniors? Because if you notice, I don't think we saw Apple Bloom, Sweetie Belle, or Scootaloo at all in this movie. Like, at all, ever. Not even in the background. We saw Snips and Snails, which I still say Snips and Snails are freshmen. Like, they still just have that freshman, maybe sophomore, act. And I get that's kind of part of their characters, but still, you'd think that maybe they'd try and mature them up a little bit if they're going for we're aging type thing, time's moving forward, I don't know. And then again, I think that, the CMC in general in the show proper probably need to be aged a bit. And, show that, hey, time is passing. Because as time passes, things get older. Especially voice actresses. They get older and their voices change, and you need to reflect that in the show. Just say it. I want to see in Season 7 a slightly older CMC. Just asking for it. Can't stay cute and adorable forever. But anyway, guys, that's about my piece on the movie. It was good. I mean, it's not, like, groundbreaking or amazing, but it was good. It's enjoyable. I like it. Then again, I like the Equestria Girls movies, so, I mean, what do you expect? So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at our social for the day and see who the heck added us and who the heck didn't add us and say hi. Alright, so we got Sapphire Star. Isn't that a... No, wait, that's Sapphire Shores. I was like, wait, isn't that a pony? So sweet, we got Sapphire Star, Sapphire Shores' cousin, twice removed. We've got Ruby Pie. W-Y-G, Ruby. That show that I like, that I can't ever spell out. I can write it down, but it's like R-W-Y-B, right? Ruby? I think that's how you do it. Juniper always. Or Junior, if you want to go that way for the next season. We got Pinkie Pie, who is imitating Celestia. Pinkie Pie, I don't know if you know this, but impersonating a royal figurehead is against the rules in this little lovely slice of Equestria we call home. And I think you might want to rethink your plans in life, because I'm imagining Celestia is not going to like you parading around in your adorable little costume you've got here. I really think you should probably rethink your life choices. And we've got Shining Pants. I mean, hey, if you want to wear shiny pants with spandex and dance to Ninja Sex Party in a park area and with random people, then hey, Markiplier, you just do you, man. I ain't gonna judge. I can't dance for beans. Took a lot of guts to do what you did there. And we got Sunset Cake. I mean, I'd make a cake out of Sunset Shimmer. I'm not gonna lie. I'd make a cake with Sunset Shimmer. I'd love to hang out with Sunset. Discuss the magic and the thoughts of... Like, another thing that bugs me is Sunset's never like, hey, look, I've been in Equestria. I know how magic works. Twilight, you don't need to worry, Twiggles. I got you. I understand. This is how it works. Like, I get it. This is new world. But still, Sunny, you could have done something, Sunny D. Seriously. Anyway, I'm gonna get off of that because I could go on for hours on this darn movie. I love speculating on horse, so I could keep going. But I try and cut myself off because darn it, this is already long enough as is. We've got Mr. Cookie. Then we've got Andrew Dick. That's pretty you got there, Andrew. It's pretty sweet. Lotus Pie. And then we've got Caring Star. And Lotus Pants, and apparently Miraculous Ladybug is saying hi. Hi there, Miraculous Ladybug. How you doing? Doing good? You doing good? I'm glad. You're doing good. So anyway, guys, that is our episode of the My Opponent Game from Gameloft for the week. If you want to add me on Gameloft's cool social aspect, and then get featured on the episode, then hey, my code is 0145. That's 0145. But anyway, guys, I'm UltraMag64. Remember, whenever you go summer camping, just make sure to bring a lot of glitter in your pants. Just shove that stuff in your pants. Just all over it. Heck, even if it dumps out, at least down, you're sparkling. You're never going to get that stuff out. Like, trust me, it gets everywhere. I know from experience. I have shoved many glitters down my pants, and they never come out right. It just doesn't work. Just doesn't work. But hey, you got that sick bling. So, I mean, that's worth it in life, right? And happy gaming. I'll catch you guys on the flip side with more crazy content in the future. Bye-bye!